Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network. And we are back to discuss a new film that is on Netflix. It came out last week. I believe it was on the 7th. It might have came out, something around there. 11th. You're probably right. Yeah. We're recording this on the 14th, but we are talking about People We Meet on Vacation. It is based on the romance novel that came out a few years ago, and they finally made a movie about it. That's on Netflix. I'm going to be one of your hosts. My name is Darian Scalamoni. I am so glad to be joined this time by Meaghan Krantz.
Hi.
And Ella Lambiazzi.
Hi.
The girls are back. The Russian
Finally.
girlies are back. It's been a while. I'm glad you guys are back. This is so your guys' movie. This is so in your bag.
Yeah.
Like coming off of The Summer I Turned Pretty, I just feel like this is because this is is this a YA type of thing? Like, is this a YA novel technically? Young adult, because they are young adult.
Yeah. I think I'd
right.
classify it that way.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, hopefully, I'm not stereotyping you guys, but I feel like you guys are into this genre and into these kinds of romance sort of heavy.
Oh, how could you
projects.
think such a thing?
I know I'm a terrible person, but
Our Summer I Turned Pretty run. I feel like this is like quite literally like kind of
this is the sequel.
The same.
This
This
is the sequel to that, and I'm so happy to be here for the ride. But this is a book that I remember when it kind of hit. I don't know if it was bookstores or even just social media, but it was everywhere. Like I remember that cover, like the cover of the book was literally everywhere. And it was big on Book Talk. And then I believe they begin and they end the movie with the exact shot that is on the book, like the cover of the book that's like so iconic. And there was a lot of heavy debate on when they were making this. Who are they going to get to play the two main characters? Our two leads in this film, which are Poppy and Alex. We get Emily Bader and Tom Blyth. So I want to start there. Let's start with Alex and Poppy because they are the major DNA to what could make or break what this movie is, right? So you said you did read the book. You didn't read the book.
I have not read
You
the
have
book.
not read the book. All right. So I'm going to start with Ella because she has read the book.
Okay.
So Ella, I don't know if you followed this casting from when it first started or not, but if you did, what were your initial thoughts on Tom Blyth and Emily Bader playing these two characters? And now having watched the movie without giving too much away, like try to stay away from spoilers for this part. What did you think about the performances that they had?
Honestly, I did see when they were originally casting them and a lot of people coming up with their own fan cast. Like even before that, I remember seeing people like before like they were even going to make a movie saying like who they imagined, obviously, because everyone imagines someone when they're reading the book. But honestly, like they're kind of close to what I pictured. So I thought they did a really great job.
You were happy with the fact. What did you,
at least aesthetic and like look wise, it's like pretty much what I pictured.
Okay.
And then I think that he did a great job playing Alex's like calm and composed like character.
Yeah.
And like she did a great job of being Poppy, like being like everywhere, you know.
Was there a fan cast in your mind that you had in your mind before these two were selected that you were hoping that they went towards?
Honestly, no. Like I didn't really have anything I was totally set on. But that's why like I know a lot of people were probably really like either excited or disappointed, but I didn't really have that strong of a feeling towards anything. So
Meaghan, you again haven't read the book, but you saw the movie, obviously. That's why we're doing the review. What did you think about Emily and Tom's performances as Poppy and Alex?
I didn't have any issues with that. I mean, I wasn't following the casting decisions or really anything with this movie. Like when they were in pre-production, I was completely just unaware of what was going on, to be honest. So like within the last couple of days when you were like, oh my God, People We've Been on Vacation movie is coming out. Like, would you watch that? And I am conscious of it. And I was like, oh, I probably would like that. So like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
and yeah, when I was watching them, I was just like, I don't know, they're both nice to look at. And I think that like, I mean, that's kind of really, I mean, for this kind of movie, that's kind of all you really need. And then also, I mean, I think that they played, you know, they did all the emotional fluff was there, but I also think like especially Alex's character, how Ella brought up how he was just kind of like composed and very caring. And I think he did like, I didn't cringe at him at all. If anything, I cringe at her, but like, it's also her character, I think was kind of meant to be portrayed that way. So I didn't really like think like, oh my God, like this is insufferable.
Yeah.
Cause I kind of went into it kind of like a little afraid that it would be, but then I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't cringe as much as I thought it was going to.
Thought you were gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there were moments for me in the beginning, but I think for me it's like, again, this isn't a genre that I watch a lot of, but then I kind of like adjusted as the movie went along, and then your brain just kind of, it's not that your brain shuts off, but your brain just kind of goes into this mode of like you're floating on a cloud.
Yep.
I love that you use the word fluff because like that is what this movie is. It's like
Yeah.
like literally like if I could compare this movie to a condiment, it would be fluff, like peanut butter and fluff, like
Marshmallow fluff.
Yes, marshmallow fluff. And so Brett Haley directs this movie. He had previously done a lot of other things that I feel like are in the same realm of what this movie is. I haven't seen any of these, but maybe you guys have. All the Bright Places he did. He did Looking for Alaska, which was a Hulu series, which is based on another really popular book.
Yeah.
And he also did Hearts Beat Loud, which I've actually heard really good things about. I think that's Nick Offerman and Kiersey Clemens maybe might play his adopted daughter in it. But so that's like his experience most recently on what he had done. And then he gets this gig. This is his highest rated movie, tied with Hearts Beats Loud on IMDb so far. But for me, this is a movie that really, again, like so much of it hinges on the shoulders of Tom Blyth and Emily Bader, because there are other supporting characters in this, but they don't really have that big of an effect on almost any part of the plot whatsoever. And so I was a little bit surprised by that, because I feel like I haven't seen a movie like that in such a long time, where even in other typical romance movies, I feel like there are like a couple supporting characters where like it's either a supportive friend or, again, it's like a sibling or a parent. And all of those characters are present within the movie, but they literally are there for a scene, or you could argue like half a scene, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm curious on what you thought about the way that the movie kind of was structured, because to me, that was really interesting. And I do think that one of my, I guess, flaws with the movie is that I wish that they kind of created more of a world with it, you know, especially because it's based on a book. Like, I'm sure there's more that they left on the page that isn't in the movie. And Ella, we'll get to you after that. I'm sure you can kind of comment more on that. But Meaghan, from just the film perspective, how did you feel about the way they structured it?
I am really glad that you brought up the structure of it, because I was thinking the same thing. Excuse me. I was like, when it comes down to like the supporting characters, like you were saying, I literally had that thought last night. I was like, we have Alex's brother and then his fiance and soon to be husband, and I thought they were so funny. And I literally was like, I really kind of wish that they were in more of the movie, because we only have a few scenes with them, and I just thought that they just kind of added like a little something, but they were like really barely a part of it. So the fact that you brought that up, I totally agreed with that. And then also Poppy's friends were just like actually just kind of like planted in there so briefly, and then just like, you know, we're gone. Like it had no relevance to the rest of the story. So that was definitely something I noticed. But I think that like I was kind of just aware that it was about them. Like when I got to that flow state when I was watching, like how you were bringing up how like eventually you just get to this point where you're just so immersed in their like relationship dynamic. Like it got to that point for me too, where like I wasn't really thinking about anybody else anymore, because it was just so about them, their
relationship.
Because like, I don't know, I also was kind of thinking that there was going to be another character. I thought at first that Alex was like more of a I don't know, like a best friend, like only, or like a supportive character or something. Like I thought, because I mean I went in knowing that this was called People We Meet on Vacation, and I was like, I don't know who she met.
The only like you're not meeting any people on vacation. The only one that I think gets prominent screen time, and it's one of the better vacations they go on, is I think it's the first one they go on. It's Lucas Gage's character where he plays Buck, where they go to the camp. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh my god,
yes.
I love.
So it's Canada, right? Yeah, it's Canada. But so like, yes, I agree. Like that, and that scene actually to me had the most real humor in it.
Yes.
Compared to like everything else, and then it's like when you look at the cast list, like they bring in a lot of supporting players that are like very legitimate performers, which is why it's confusing to me.
Yeah,
you know,
I recognized. I forgot what his name was. The guy who was driving the water taxi. When they
that's Lucas Gage.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's obviously, he was big from Smile, and he was in The White Lotus. Jamil, who is like one of the big characters in The Good Place. Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon.
Alan Ruck, who like is in Ferris Bueller and Succession, who plays Poppy's dad. He
was so funny.
Yes, has a great comedic sort of tone that switches up the movie. Like I'm sitting there with my girlfriend watching it, and I'm like, this is so awkward, but this is so funny, because it just like I can't imagine that situation of sitting down with like a father of a daughter rooting on the guy to kind of being like, you know, like make sure you got condoms for my daughter. It was like such a weird, awkward, funny sort of thing that they don't lean into enough in this. And that's why I'm curious, Ella, for you having read the novel, do you notice more of that in the book to where you think they left it on the cutting room floor? Because My other thing that I'm looking at is that this movie comes in at an hour and 57 minutes. And I think that's purposeful because nobody in the current day and age, and for most of this audience, is probably going to be Gen Z and lower, I would guess. And a lot of them don't have the higher attention spans to kind of watch things that are longer. So like, I feel like with the amount of characters they had, they probably could have made this like a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, but they decided to leave a lot out because of the attention spans.
That's a shame, honestly. I'm pretty sure in the book they went on like 10 vacations.
Okay.
Or something. Like it was a lot more, and every vacation they went on, they met a lot of people. So we saw like everyone they met in New Orleans, and they kind of like put on like their fake like marriage story or whatever they were telling everyone. Like I think each like group of people they met kind of shaped like how their relationship was. So there was a lot of that lacking, but like what we did see, I did like. While I was watching it the whole time, I just kept thinking that I really wish that they made this a miniseries or something like that, or like I don't know if you've seen One Day that was on Netflix, or even Normal People. I was thinking of One Day and Normal People the whole time when I was watching this. But One Day, similarly to this, is like following two people through the course of like 20 years, and each episode was like a year. And I loved the way they did that. Each episode was like 20 to 30 minutes, and there were 14 of them, and it was all like 20 years of their life. So it would have been nice if maybe like they did one vacation per episode in a way, and they made it like a 10-episode series or something like that.
Yeah,
so that's what I kept thinking about, because then we would have seen more of like what they did in each place, and they combined like at the ends when we had like the whole Tuscany thing. That was in 2 separate years in like Croatia and like something like that, and it was just spread out, and it was like slow, like more of a slow like burn. I don't know. I love slow burns, and I feel like it kind of just like, I don't know, like it somehow got rushed in there somewhere.
Well, also, at the same time, the movie hinges, like I said, on the shoulders of the relationship between these two characters. And when you're rushing through the chemistry of your two leads, it's not going to hit as hard as some of the other ones will. I haven't seen either of those shows. I know you're a massive One Day fan because we've talked about it.
Oh my god, it's literally like the most devastatingly amazing experience in my mind. So like that's what I kept thinking of, and I just wanted it to like, I wanted it to be that, which I shouldn't have like really compared it to, because I still liked it, but I don't know. I feel like it just would have been stronger if it was more spread out.
Well, Normal People is another one. That's the first Hulu drama that came out from that author, right? It's Normal People and then Conversations with Friends.
Oh,
right?
Oh yeah, Sally Mooney or something.
So, yeah, Sally Mooney, something like that.
Yeah, something like
that. But
Normal
Normal People came before that, correct?
Yes.
Normal People, if Liz, who also is on this network with us, like that's her favorite TV show maybe ever.
Yeah, and I love it. Yeah.
I unfortunately haven't seen either of the ones you guys are referring to, but I can understand having the relationships form over like a 10-hour period versus like you're getting less than 2 hours of these two people that also you hinge on, because this is a fish out of water story. Like they place you in the very beginning of the movie, you're just on a college campus with these characters, right? Am I misremembering the very beginning of the movie?
Very beginning is,
or is she in the office?
She's in the office.
Okay.
And she's
telling the story.
Right.
She's like narrating how this came to be while she's blogging. Correct?
Yeah.
And it doesn't, for someone who hasn't read the book, it doesn't give you a lot of time to prepare with these characters. So I think that's part of the reason why it took me a while to kind of open up to them. New Orleans is where, for me, it got to a different level, which we could talk about that trip in particular, because it's also, I think, the only trip where you actually see both characters dip into that real mode of romance where they're doing things that are so outside of themselves, but are still true to them as characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the trip where like they have the disguises and they pretend that they're they're on a honeymoon. Okay, yeah. Because that was definitely my favorite vacation, probably. It's funny because I think it was structured so deliberately, which I mean I'm not even saying this is a bad thing. Like there were moments that they shared where Alex was still with his girlfriend, and like it was kind of like they didn't like really like dip into that like, you know, romantic atmosphere yet. It was just kind of like, okay, like yeah, they're friends. But every time that they broke up, like they had that on and off again, Alex and Sarah, like every time they were off, then something would actually truly progress where like you couldn't justify like, okay, yeah, if he was dating her, that just would not be okay. But then the times that the first time where that actually does happen, where something like they have an interaction where like, okay, this is like when she like breaks or sprains her ankle or whatever,
Yeah.
That night, and he like picks her up and is carrying her. I genuinely was sitting there like, oh my god! I had a verbal reaction. I was like, no way! I'm like, this is where you can't deny that there's like something going on. It's like that was, and I think that was the moment for them, and that's also the moment like for us as an audience too, to be like, okay, like this is getting a little bit, I don't know. We're not speaking about it, but like.
I think they do a good job of also setting that up though, because I had the same reaction to when she sprains her ankle and he picks her up. I turned to my girlfriend. I'm like, something's gonna happen right now.
Exactly.
And then you get mad because whoever they cast, again, not like a name actor or anything.
Oh my god, I know.
Whoever they cast as her boyfriend is just radiates douchebag.
I was
like in the best way possible, down to his look, down to his voice, down to his inflection, the way that he talks to Alex's character.
Yeah.
I immediately hated that guy.
I was same.
And I was like, why are you with this dude? Like, this dude sucks. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
no.
So that is the turning point for me where I felt like the movie sort of started to pick up.
Yeah.
But Emily Bader, Tom Blyth, coming off of this movie now, because Emily Bader, I don't think had done anything that I am well aware of. Did either of you guys know anything she had done before this?
I have no idea.
No.
Nothing for
I'm
you
pretty
either?
sure she was in a series, something called Jane something.
Yeah, My Lady Jane,
Yeah.
which is an Amazon Prime Video original series, which I hadn't seen. She also was in a Paranormal Activity, but it looks like it's one of the shitty ones. So
I saw stuff about that series, or maybe like I have been now, but apparently it was good and it got canceled or something. I don't really know.
But the Amazon show,
yeah,
you're saying? Yeah. And then Tom Blyth, on the other hand, he was coming off of Hunger Games to where I see. Did you see Hunger Games?
No.
The Songbirds and Snakes. He was actually really good. He played Snow. He was the lead in it, but he did a great job in that. And I like how you brought up like the kind of composed aspect of it, because I do feel like that did translate from the Snow character over to this, even though it's like obviously a different genre and he's doing something different. So I think that really worked for him. But Emily Bader already today got cast. Either you guys soccer people? No. She's playing Mia Hamm in an old, like, it's a Netflix. I don't know if it's a Netflix series or it's a Netflix movie. But it's all about the U.S. women's soccer team winning their first World Cup in like 1999.
That's so funny. And her character in this movie can't run like at
yes,
all.
Exactly. So it is ironic.
Yeah.
But she was just cast in that today. And Tom Blyth, I think he has a couple things upcoming. He's doing Watch Dogs, which is based on a video game, and that's with Sophie Wilde. And there's a couple other things he has in the docket. But for me, I want to talk to you guys about what they bring in particular to their own individual performances and what you think they can kind of do after this, because I really think when we get to eventually to scores, like, this is a movie that when I first started it, 25 minutes in, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking hate this movie. I was just like, this is just like not my vibe. This is not what I'm gonna like. And to me, they do a really good job of getting almost any audience member, I feel like, to root for them. So if we for you guys, either one of you can chime in, but diving deeper into what you think made them as individual characters, their performance is so good for this movie.
I think for Poppy, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, because I think that she almost dips into too much of like a cringe factor, but then doesn't, because she has that like, very outgoing, very lively, like she comes from a family of huggers, like that's just kind of, they're very open people, like she wears her heart on her sleeve, it's very obvious. But I think that her arc was really interesting, like just the whole like theme of the movie was literally her like trying to escape, and constantly, like, she was constantly in motion, but she never felt settled anywhere emotionally. So I think that she portrayed that journey just really well, because she was so just outwardly just like, I don't know, emotionally vulnerable. I mean, she was always writing about what she was dealing with. I mean, from the get-go, she was like, her character was admitting, I've been lonely as I've been doing this. So it's kind of like, when I start to put together the connection between her and Alex and like how close they were and how important he was to her, then it actually made me like, I don't know, she made me feel sympathetic for her and understand her. So whatever it was about her performance, she was just very personable, I guess. Like, she just kind of, I don't know, like, she was a little bit annoying when she was younger. Like, in the first scene, she was insufferable in the first
But that's
scene.
a good performance, because it's showing the growth of the character.
Yeah, so like, I also kind of expected that to happen too. I was like, okay, so but it's funny though, because then she had a few of those moments where she was just ranting and just like constantly talking, even when she was older. And then I was like, oh no, so she is still annoying. But I thought that like she wasn't going to be, and she was. So, but then again, that's also I think how she was written. I didn't even really know that, but based on the conversation, I'm learning that her character kind of was written, I guess, to be a little bit annoying. Or I guess when we had a little pre-conversation before we started, we touched on that, and then I guess like okay, like she can't. That's the script. All right, I'm not even gonna. But she did the annoyingness well.
Well, that's so for you having read the book. Like, is there something? Because my girlfriend, I watched the movie with my girlfriend. My girlfriend was the one specifically. She like as soon as the movie started, she's like, "Oh, Poppy's so annoying." Like the movie literally just started. She's like, "We gotta like chill out. Like I gotta know who this character is. You can't give me going into it. She's so annoying." So in reading the book, and maybe I don't know if it's on the page where it's like inner dialogue, or it's something where she's aware that she's annoying or anything like that. But like having read the book, do you think that how is Poppy presented in the book, and do you think it's like done justice in the movie with Emily Bader's performance?
I think she was done justice. She was playing it up definitely a little bit more in the movie, but okay. I think one of the biggest things about her character is that she's pretty like insecure about how much she is. It's like what she kind of started off with the whole like backstory she was giving about how people always like thought she was being too much. So like she always is like aware of how she's being in a way. So I think she's aware that she's like annoying in a way, and I think that that's why her performance was so great, because it made people like relate to her, and like people who like I even think sometimes like, oh my god, am I like being too loud right now, am I like thinking too much? And I think that like that's more what you get from the book, like you like get more of like how she like why she acts that way. But I think Emily Bader did a really great job.
Yeah, I think of it too as where, because it does have the setup where like what you were talking about, Meaghan, the growth of her character is when she is able to be present. Because that's her biggest issue, and it's kind of thrown in there that she runs away, obviously literally, from her problems to just go on trips and do all these things, and yeah, she's doing it obviously with Alex too, but she has this dream, and obviously she eventually gets to the point where she is a travel blogger, so she does everything to just get the fuck away from what she's dealing with, and she also does it with men. Like she like you see it over time in the movie. Like you see even the conflict, the first initial conflict that we have set up in the movie when they the keys get locked in the car and they're staying at the hotel, and she says that it's like this lewd rumor that went around that she's kind of being followed by. It's like this lurking shadow in her brain that set off when she was. How old did she say? How old when she was in high school? She says, right?
I think so.
It was. Yeah. I thought it was even younger than that.
It might have been middle. Like it might have just been middle school. Yeah.
I think it was younger than that, because I remember thinking to myself like that doesn't happen. I don't know. It's like, there's no way.
I don't know. I mean, I think it can happen. I think the kids are fucked up, and I think that it's possible that could happen. But it also sets that trajectory for seeing her. You see it throughout the entire movie. You see it. I think in every single vacation, if I'm not mistaken, there's like another sexual interaction with whoever she's together with.
Yeah, during the camping trip, right?
Well, there's that with Buck. Then the next one is New Orleans, right? Is the next trip after that?
I think so. Yeah.
New Orleans is the thing where the boyfriend comes and surprises her, and she even is like, he's a great guy, and then Alex is like, he's like kind of not. Like
they were like totally shit talking him right before he was there, which was so
and then
funny.
He's all over her, which again, it's like more of a possessive kind of thing where she needs him to kind of protect that image. And then from there, she has the relationship with the character Trey, played by Lucien Laviscount, who like he's a little bit more tame because they're older, the characters are older, but he's still a very sexual character. Like they're sitting at the table together and like making out in front of Alex and like Sarah. Well, but I'm saying at least for the in terms of how it showcases her growth. Like I haven't read the book, but I think that it does a really great job of showcasing without doing a lot more show don't tell. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot more subtle than I think. Like if you could look at it from the right perspective, it's like they're actually doing her character a lot more justice by letting the audience kind of see it all play out and see what she's dealing with, rather than being like, she was abused, this is what she's doing. Like now she's like hooking up with a guy in a bathroom. Like that's not what the movie is giving. And what Alex provides for her is kind of the next point I want to go to, because he's always the consistent safety.
Yeah.
Right? He's always the one that's there to kind of be this protective nature, whether it's like it starts obviously as this kind of like brotherly, like, oh, you're my best bud. And then it quickly becomes this thing where like they're best friends. Then they obviously, like New Orleans obviously takes to another level. So what did you think about the way that they presented Alex, Meaghan, as that kind of protective person in her life? And did that add to the romance for you? Or was it kind of this weird dichotomy of trying to figure out how they were going to go about it in the movie?
I think when I was watching, I just knew how it was going. Like, I mean, I knew how it was going to end from the beginning. Like, I just kind of was like, okay, I mean, I don't know how. Like, I don't know what twists and turns there's going to be. I don't know what path we're taking to get here. But I know that Alex is her rock, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like, when he takes care of her when she's sick, that scene for me was like, oh my god. Like, I will say, like, I totally was like in tears by the end of this, because I was just so like, I was like, this is like, it was just so like perfect in that sense. Like, it was just a perfect display of like an actual really like healthy relationship, really healthy dynamic eventually, obviously when they got together. But I just think that the fact that she keeps coming back to him, like they keep coming back to each other, it was just so like, I mean, like, you knew, but it was just the sense that like he was always like there to take care of her and everything. That it was just like, and he, like, any hardship basically that she was going through, he was going to be there, and it was just undoubtable. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm like, and the only deal breaker that they ever came to was when they crossed the line, and then he just thought that she didn't value him, you know? So like that, and like that's not real. Like, he even says at the end of the movie, like, love was never our problem. Like, when he says that to her, it's like, that's kind of the moment where you kind of like, I don't know, that's where they actually like say it out loud to you. But I feel like throughout the movie, you also know that as you're watching, like, yeah, like that's not the problem here. It's like where they both are in their lives. Yeah, well,
and he it's kind of presented again in that same sort of way where he's just like, you're not present at all. Like, as soon as they go from the scene where they finally have sex into the wedding, right? Yeah. I'm getting that right. It's sex and then the wedding. Yeah. When they get to the wedding and they're having that conversation, and he's like trying to plan their life together, because in his brain he's like, now I'm in, like, I'm fully invested in our like this dynamic and what we are, and I've always loved you. And she's like, well, let's just like take our time with it. That is definitely the part that I feel like maybe we're all in agreement on that, but like that's the one part where I'm just like, bro, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you just went, you've been with this guy for, I don't know if they give you, do you, like, again, from the book, how from the point they meet when they're driving home together to the wedding, how much time had passed? Oh, I guess it's like 9 years, right? Because it's like 8 summers.
9 or 10 years, I think, because they cut some summers out of the movie.
But they still keep the same timeline for the movie. Yeah. But like, that's crazy. Like, that's a decade of your life that you've known somebody. Yeah. And you're seeing them grow over time. To get, like, if they're going home from school, I mean, you don't really know what age they are, I guess, when they're at that point. Mm-hmm. Because they're I mean, maybe they're freshmen, maybe they say, I don't know. But at that point, they are still young relatively. They could be like 24, 25. And I get that side of it. But it's like, you need to, at that point, let go a little bit, right? Like, you just made love for the first time. It's different than just like casual sex. So Ella, like, for you with Alex and the Poppy dynamic too, like, what worked for you in terms of how that kind of played out in the movie? And what were some things that you hoped maybe that they would have done a better job? Or did you feel like it was like perfect the way they presented it?
So the whole like 2-year gap and stuff, that was all different. Like, they, like, in the book, the engagement thing like didn't happen, and it was just different, and it was more stretched out.
He doesn't propose in the book to Sarah at all? Oh, interesting.
So they changed like that whole reason, and I'm pretty sure like the biggest thing that was like lacking from the movie was more emotional depth and stuff. So like you understood like Alex more and like the decisions she was making and stuff. But like, he was just like, I think Meaghan said it kind of before, but he was more hurt by her because like he kind of thought that like she didn't really like want to be with him or something like that, and like, or like that it was just gonna be weird or something. So like that's why they ended up like not talking for so long, and like the whole time he was just kind of like, he was the kind of character that like pined after her, so he's like yearning after her, which I loved about his character from the first time I read the book.
Yeah, and so you don't think that's presented in this movie?
It's there because I kind of knew about it, but I think it could have been a little bit better, at least towards the end, because I don't know, that at least that part felt like rushed to me. Like I just wish that there was a little bit more like depth to it, I guess.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was like bad.
No, I
like
agree.
Alex, like he's such a lovable character. He like while watching it, I was just like, oh my god, like he's such a nice guy. He's so I don't know. I just liked how calm and how grounded he was and how he like did that for her. Yeah. It's just like after like reading like book and reminding myself of everything that happened, like it, I guess that was a little bit on the lacking side.
Did you have something?
I was just thinking about how like he set that emotional boundary for himself in that moment, like when he was just like, yeah, we're not like we need to spend some time apart and everything, which also goes along with this whole character of just being, he was so emotionally mature like throughout the entire movie, which yeah, I guess he's kind of, I don't know if I would say he's static in terms of a character, but I don't know, but he was consistent in a good way for her. I think that's why he kind of fit that role.
Well, they balance each other out.
Yeah,
that is like, because you're talking about, again, if he's emotionally mature in that way, like that's the one thing you can't argue about Poppy. She's not emotionally mature at all. That's kind of her whole shtick, and it does start. It is interesting because it brings up all those dynamics that are not really present in the movie, but you think about it from like a real life perspective. And maybe I will read the book because I'm so interested in how they present it. But like, it's the whole thing where like you can see in that one scene with her parents that they have a very different dynamic than any other parents would have. You know, like it's not to say that no other parents are like that, but that free and that open, it doesn't leave a lot of room for emotional maturity. It doesn't leave room to kind of understand, like, not that there needs to be specific rules in life, but like some sort of rigidness to kind of make you feel the harder aspects of life. And it is interesting because she's also presented as like having this cushy job. And it's even talked about in the movie where her boss, played by Jamil, she's like, I'm paying you to fucking write and go travel. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I do think that they do a good job of explaining that, but I agree with what Ellie, you were just saying, where I think like when we get to scores in a minute, I have a positive score for this movie, but I think it could have gotten a better score if the movie was reworked a little bit. And I do think that it could have used a little bit more time. And I would argue, even not having read the book, but knowing especially the way that the movie is nonlinear and the story takes place over 10 years, it's like ripe for a limited series. Like it's one of those books that completely would make sense as a limited series. And I don't know if this is just something I made up in my head, but I felt like when this was first announced, it was a limited series and they changed it. And I don't know. I tried to look it up and see, and I couldn't get it confirmed. So like, don't quote me on that, audience, if you're watching this. But like, I felt like that was something that I had seen, not even knowing the story. And now after watching the movie, I'm like, man, I really do wish it was a limited series, because I feel like it would have given a lot more opportunity to have those deeper conversations between Poppy and Alex. How long is the book? Like, how many pages would you say the book is?
Oh my god, I don't know how many pages it is, but it's like pretty thick. It's like
pretty
two
thick?
of the Summary Term Birdie books combined.
So you think it would have been good enough to do a limited series?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And you think the same thing, right? You would say you would think it probably would have worked a little bit better as a limited series?
Yeah, I think that I would have probably loved every episode if it was just spread out that way.
Yeah.
Also knowing that there's more vacations that I don't even know about that were in the book, that's like a clear indicator to me that they could have structured it that way.
Well, even the scene where he takes care of her when she's sick, Trisha was like, this is such a great part in the book, and it's like pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like he like says that one thing and it is nice and you feel that feeling of like, wow, that's really sweet that he like just decided to not go on a trip to take care of her, and then he goes for a run and then like she's better. Like,
yeah, that scene, it happened so fast. I remember that being one of the ones I loved in the book, because I like love that trope kind of.
Yeah.
And it just like flew like that in the book.
Yeah.
Or in the movie.
It's unfortunate. I wish they would have maybe commissioned it a different way. And it stinks because I don't think they're gonna do like there's no way we do a limited series of this book now at this point, because this just came out. Yeah. There's no sequel, obviously, right?
No. Okay.
There's gonna be. I think at some point there has to be, because I feel like this is going to do really well for Netflix. But do either of you guys have any other last minute thoughts or anything before we get to scores?
I don't think so. I had something really random that I thought of earlier that like is just so random.
Do you want to bring it up? You're welcome to.
When she locks the keys in the car.
Yeah.
Would it have been a crazy idea to just break the window? And
I
then,
those same thing.
And then she can pay him back to
My
fix the
girlfriend
window.
said the same thing.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was just being like.
I will say,
know.
so I have two counters to that.
Okay.
One, she barely knows this guy. So unless he's breaking the window, that's not happening. Like it would be, she would present as a absolute fucking lunatic to where there is no story. There's no follow up.
Bro, I would have probably said that though. I probably would have been like, can we just break the window?
But you wouldn't break it yourself.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I think that in the point, especially in the beginning of the movie, like I don't think Alex presents as that kind of guy. You know, like I don't like Alex would be the one that would want to like almost be like, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
no, not really.
Like just kind of like, I know, it was so ridiculous. Literally a fucking meme. He literally is the type of guy that would be like, no, we have to do it by the book. Like, there's no way I'm breaking my window and then paying more money for it. Let's just
that makes sense. Yes, yeah. Completely makes sense.
Like being like, no, like we're not gonna do it your way. Like literally, that's how I think he presents in the beginning of the movie. He obviously again
more rigid.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a lot more particular. I mean, like you see it in it. That's also kind of presented a little bit in that early dialogue where she's like. She brings up a bunch of things that she likes, and he's like, I don't like any of those things. Like, he's just like so.
Or the music, or the fact that he's like, don't eat in the car. Like,
yes.
very, very straight. You know?
Yes,
oh
exactly.
God.
Which is why I think, like, if she punched up, it would have been hilarious. Like, if she just, like, reared back and just, like, punched, she's like, see, all fixed. And he's like, you're fucking crazy. Like, there's no way I'm carpooling with you ever again. But I get it though. I do get it because again, like practically, you're like, yeah, well, let's just try to fucking break the window.
Yeah.
But did you have anything else? Last minute things?
Well, on the road trip note, did it not remind you of When Harry Met Sally?
Dude, so they're in college. They get in the car and they're driving home from college together, and they start, and it's like, oh, so tell me your life story. Literally the beginning of When Harry Met Sally. That's all. Yeah, that was
and they
exactly
even
what
went
I was
to a
thinking.
diner and they
go to
this and that. Like,
yep.
I've just seen so many parallels, at least right now on TikTok and editing.
Absolutely.
Like everyone's like, oh my god. And, I mean, I thought of it immediately.
Well,
too.
I would have to guess that I would have to assume that When Harry Met Sally is a big influence on Emily Henry in writing the book.
I'm sure.
I would have
it's
to
also
imagine.
It's also like a 10-year span.
Yeah.
She
just again she had her own creative spin on it by doing the vacations, which
Yeah.
it is a fun thing to kind of do.
Yeah.
And it would have separated it even more if you did a limited series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at Netflix. They
So
should have made a
wow.
limited series. But all right, let's get to scores. So does anybody want to start? Or you guys want me to start? You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna hate this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it at all. Because I didn't hate this, do you guys recommend Summer I Turned Pretty? Should I start it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than this, you would say?
Ooh.
Oh, maybe
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
That's a really interesting question.
I'll see. I
Well,
think I have to watch it with
started,
Trish.
I read this book because of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Back then. Because
it was the same
I don't know,
genre?
the vacation, summer kind of thing. Like romance. That like so yeah, so that in that sense I would recommend it. But better?
Interesting. Okay.
I think they're on the same.
It's hard. That's a commitment because then like that's like 3 seasons I gotta watch and a movie.
Yeah, if the movie whenever, like comes out.
Well, I think they're doing it.
Are they?
I think it's like confirmed. I think.
Well, what is it even going to be about?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I think it was announced though, so I think it's happening.
Yeah, it was announced, but like there's been no movement on the filming of it.
I think they started filming this year because Lola Tung did a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
In between. She's gonna big.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's gonna break out. But anyway, I thought I was gonna hate this movie. Thought I was gonna have a low score. Like I thought I was gonna have mid or lower, and I don't. I have a positive score, and I would rewatch this movie. I thought there was room for it to improve. Like I think this could have gotten to like an 8 for me. But I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I think it's good. I think it's solid. And I think the movie literally hinges on the shoulders of Emily Bader and Tom Blyth because some of the dialogue is cringy and the direction isn't necessarily inspired. The story works well because it's that multi like kind of genre type thing where they go from different places and stuff. But it wasn't a bad watch. I thought I was going to not like it and I came out kind of enjoying it. So 6.5, that's my score. Megan?
Okay.
What you got?
Valid. I feel very similarly. I also went into it thinking that I wasn't just like going in thinking I'm gonna hate it, but there was a moment where I was like, oh shit, like, am I really really not gonna like this? But then that didn't end up happening at all, actually. By the end of it was, like texting Ella, and I was like, oh my god. And then like I was crying for like 20 minutes afterwards, like just like feeling all like raw, like, oh my god, that was so like emotional, whatever. Like romantic. So like it got me to that point, so that like I can say that I did enjoy it a lot, actually. And it was like exactly what I needed just for that like particular night. I was just like, oh, this is just like, like I said in the beginning, just like the fluff that I needed pretty much. But yeah, I think also it looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think it had a very distinct like style and aesthetic that worked really well, so I felt that pretty consistently all the way through, which I was pretty pleased with. And then in terms of like the structures and the vacations, I was just like, this is just fun. Like, this is just a fun movie. So for that, I was honestly thinking that I was gonna give it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah,
okay.
I did think 7 initially because I gave it 4 on Letterboxd, and I was like, okay, a 4 on Letterboxd kind of equates to probably like a 7.
Okay.
On the pod, so yeah, so I'm gonna say that.
All right, Ella, what about you?
If you asked me last night, I probably would have rated a little bit higher, but since it's been a while since I read the book, I like refreshed myself on the book and kind of like reread parts of it today, and it lowered it a little bit for me, but it's still like not that low. So I was thinking also a 7.
Okay.
Because like last night I probably would have gone like with 8 or something, but like I don't know, just like for it like the no, but like those 2 like points would probably be for like what I would have liked to see if it was a miniseries, but like for what it was like as a rom-com, it was great.
Yeah,
so.
I like I said, my biggest thing was the emotional depth that you brought up is one of the points that I like. You just wish you kind of have it with the characters, and then don't bring in such a good fucking supporting cast if you're not going to show me the characters. Like that bothers me. I just like, no offense to like, you can bring in no-name people and the same thing can happen. You could fall in love with characters, but like you bring in all these great actors to just have like one scene and then disappear. It's like, I want to know more about her dynamic with her dad and his dynamic with Sarah that led to this kind of happening, you know? So those are my only major gripes, but it's an enjoyable watch. It's a fun watch. I hope you guys had fun recording. This was a fun record. We all ended up around the same score. So let us know in the comments, what did you guys think about People We Meet on Vacation on Netflix? It's been out now for a few days as of this recording by the time this has come out. So give this video a like if you guys can, and comment your thoughts, your scores, all that stuff in the comments section. And be sure to subscribe to those if you guys don't already. We're at the Culture Wave Media Network. We have a ton of other podcasts covering all film and TV and the award shows that are coming out. We have our Golden Globes recap, our best of TV and most anticipated film and TV are on the channel as well. So happy to have Meaghan and Ella back for this episode, and hopefully going to see them a lot more in the coming year. But just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I'm Meaghan Krantz.
Ella Labiazzi.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.